Black Mirror, on the Netflix. Who is the fairest of them all? Flicks? If you selected ScreenRant, then you're watching this video. So, you survived Black Mirror Bandersnatch, but do you have the stamina to survive another viewing? Of course you do. Just look at yourself in that black mirror and say, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Besides, there's so many other paths to choose, and we always dwell on the paths not taken. So, keep watching, become the main character of your story. Choose this adventure because we here at ScreenRant are giving you the lowdown on 20 things you just might have missed on your latest viewing of Bandersnatch. According to a news crawl in the present-day sequences, the PM's made a comeback. And we're not talking about all the Tylenol PM we've needed to take to finally sleep through the night. We're talking about Prime Minister Michael Callow. You may remember Callow from Black Mirror's first episode, as the PM was forced to get nasty with the nearest pig. Babe, that episode was not, but it gave us a preview of Black Mirror's screwed-up sensibilities. And we're happy to see that the PM's finally made good, since the news ticker says former PM Michael Callow wins Celebrity Bake Off. Now, let's see what Paul Hollywood thinks of the crust on Michael's ham hock souffle. Good bake. With so many different endings available and so many different pathways to get there, you can spend hours in the Bandersnatch maze. But be careful what you wish for, because there's one ending in the labyrinth of Netflix that will cause your demise. To get here, just choose the path less likely to be traveled in that balcony scene. When given the option to choose between Stefan or Colin's demise, choose the main character. By picking Stefan, we watch him jump off the balcony in a point of view angle that puts us in Stefan's shoes. It makes the point that by choosing for Stefan, we're not God. We poor viewers are just as helpless and just as doomed. And then there's that glyph, the one that looks like a lost Tetris piece. Sure, it has a symbolic meaning within Bandersnatch itself, either representing a far-reaching conspiracy that's screwing with Stefan's head, the in-game villain Pax, or both? But this glyph has more significance to us than just a symbol haunting the main character. This glyph also might give you a nudging feeling of familiarity, because it's the same symbol from Black Mirror's episode White Bear. This particular episode featured a reality show that used mind control, hence the connection to Stefan's paranoia. Is this show smart or what? Repeat after us. This show is smart. But enough about Bandersnatch, let's talk about another Black Mirror episode that no one could stop talking about. San Junipero. For once, Black Mirror gave us a slightly optimistic, if still sad and bittersweet installment. San Junipero often hangs around the top of many critics' best of Black Mirror lists, and we're sure that's why there's a health center called St. Juniper's for that reason alone. But is there a deeper connection? Well, San Junipero is a place where the mind can escape to, and eventually the soul can find a home there. So maybe San Junipero is an earlier version of that heavenly destination. Another fan-favorite episode is the Star Trek-esque USS Callister, and Bandersnatch doesn't go without dropping a line to that hit installment either. In the Bandersnatch timeline, where Stefan is implicated in criminal activity, a blurb beside the newspaper headline references the existence of a TV show that goes by the name of Space Fleet. This is the actual series on which Jesse Plemons' character, Robert Daly, obsesses over, and it's that world in which he programs an artificial life for himself as a Captain Kirk-style character who lords over copied version of his co-workers' personalities. Is this a foretelling of how bad online trolls could actually be? You be the judge, but don't judge too harshly, you trolls. If you aim a swarm of killer bee drones at the king, you best not miss. Or so Omar's saying goes from The Wire, we think. Don't quote us on that. But do quote us on the fact that Shady Company from Black Mirror's unnerving bee drone episode, Hated in the Nation, makes its way into Bandersnatch. Yep, around the same time we learn about the happy ending for the Prime Minister, depending on whether you consider Celebrity Bake Off a happy ending, we see text in the ticker saying granular to unveil prototype pollinator drone. So we know that Bandersnatch Flash Forward takes place after the national anthem, but before Hated in the Nation. Speaking of big news, the newspaper detailing Stefan's criminal case and the Space Fleet TV series also has a blurb on 15 million merits. You may remember the episode of the same name from Season 1, which focused on a future where people served as worker drones, pedaling their feet on stationary bikes to keep the lights on. Meanwhile, they all worked away their slavish lives in the hopes of gaining the 15 million merits needed to appear on a dystopian talent show. Hey, it's all there in that single newspaper. While many of Black Mirror's storylines focus on higher powers and governmental organizations to exert control over the masses, Metalhead focused on a simple human story. Well, human as in man versus robot, in which Bella, a woman who survived some kind of cataclysmic event that brought down the rest of society, is chased by these ravenous robotic hounds. It's an intense change of pace from the usual brand of tense psychodrama that Charlie Brooker's show brings to us. And it holds such a special place in Brooker's heart that it gets a nod in Bandersnatch. You might have noticed it, referenced in a poster on the Tuckersoft office's wall. Another bit of news in the background of Bandersnatch states Liam Monroe enters Buckingham Palace. Monroe is a character in the Black Mirror episode The Waldo Moment, in which he almost loses an election to a cartoon bear. While that episode teased a future in which the bear does become the face of authoritarian rule, Monroe is apparently in office during the Bandersnatch timeline. This bit of news also references the fact that the actor playing Monroe, Tobias Menzies, is also playing Prince Philip in The Crown. With appearances in Game of Thrones and Outlander as well, Menzies seems more in demand than Waldo. Bandersnatch isn't exactly a winning endorsement for therapy. At least not the way therapy's going for Stefan. But then you'd be paranoid too if your therapist was in on a big mind control conspiracy, if one of the alternate endings is to be believed. The problems may stem from the therapist, one who goes by the name R. Haynes. Is this therapist connected to another character in the Black Mirror verse, the curator from Black Museum, who also goes by the name of R. Haynes? At least maybe their initials are the same. That curator's full name is Rollo Haynes. With their collection of weird artifacts, maybe there's a conspiratorial connection between the two of them and other oddballs in the Black Mirror Rogues Gallery. Back to the news crawl, which is crammed full of Easter eggs. Another bit of information referred to UK police test groundbreaking memory recall device. Those fans with good memory might recall this device as the Recaller, a piece of technology used in the Black Mirror episode Crocodile, where a woman who's committed a crime goes to even worse lengths to cover it up. The Recaller implicates her in these deeds by pulling up buried memories. And thanks to the way Black Mirror's predicting the future, we'll never need a Recaller to help us remember the scarring events of this series. Sure, Bandersnatch offers us an ending in which we, the audience, die, at least if we consider ourselves Stefan's point of view. An alternate outcome goes so far as to say we, the viewers, actually are God. And hey, that does make sense since we control the fate of the main character and, by extension, those around him. When Stefan's at the end of his rope, he turns to us, and we get to choose to tell him whether or not. In choosing Netflix, Stefan gets informed that every action is being controlled by viewers from the future. It's a brilliant meta twist, but one that makes us feel bad for gawking at the uncomfortable moments of characters from every other series on Netflix. Stefan and Jerome F. Davies have a lot in common. Too much in common. Both worked on a project called Bandersnatch, grew paranoid, and may or may not have gone crazy. But what's even crazier is the fact that the actor playing Davies isn't an actor at all. In fact, he's a genuine video game programmer named Jeff Minter. It's perfectly fitting that the man playing the writer of the book on which the Bandersnatch game is based actually makes video games in real life. Every decision in writing, casting, and directing Bandersnatch was carefully made. Everything except for the story itself, as if things couldn't get any more poetic. And then there are some Easter eggs for Bandersnatch that aren't even in Bandersnatch. Think back to the episode Playtest, in which a game tester goes mad from the virtual reality world he's testing. It's creepy and disturbing, but what's creepier is the fact that in that episode, the lead character, played by Wyatt Russell, is carrying a copy of a gaming periodical called Edge Magazine. Do you remember what's on the cover? A blurb advertising an upcoming game called Bandersnatch. Either the Black Mirror team knew a story about a choose-your-own-adventure game was in the pipeline, or the game chose them. Get this into your simple little heads. According to the Bandersnatch creative team, there are over 5 hours of material to locate and watch within Bandersnatch's story. The thing is, most reviewers and fans have reported to catching around 4 hours of footage. If we do the simple math involved to comprehend this, that means there's likely nearly an hour of extra footage that most of us haven't found yet. Is this just a mistake on the part of the filmmakers who may have misreported the true amount of footage available on Netflix? Or are there more hidden secrets than we realize? In an additional nod to a previous episode, the newspaper with the blurb referencing USS Callister and 15 million merits also has some text mentioning a love machine. Made with BRB software, this technology promises to give lonely lovers the kind of partnership they can't find with real people. But maybe this BRB software references the episode Be Right Back, in which a deceased loved one is replaced by technology that eventually takes the passed-on partner's place. It asks the question of whether we can truly ever replace someone's humanity in their absence. The answer? No, probably not. To take things to the next level, beyond the idea of a love machine, which basically already exists in our world minus the complex personality, Bandersnatch goes ultra meta by giving us access to a hidden Tuckersoft website. Yes, the fictional company that developed Bandersnatch has a web address with playable games, made in the style of 80s entertainment. Even Nosedive is available on the site, with the same low-tech graphics and references to other games like Metalhead, Roachbusters, Balduck's Revenge, and White Bear. Hopefully, the powers that be will continue adding features to the site, until another Black Mirror episode takes Bandersnatch's place as the chief topic of conversation. While Nosedive, the falling game shown to be developed by Colin in the beginning of Bandersnatch, is playable on the actual Tuckersoft website, its name is also a reference to another installment of Black Mirror. Starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Nosedive follows a woman obsessed with improving her social status in a world where everyone is reviewed and rated. And to prove how prophetic Black Mirror has always been, China has implemented a social credit system where people's ratings control how easily they can access loans, get jobs, and connect with other people. What a dystopian world we live in. While China is shaking up social order with their credit ratings, Netflix is shaking up the watching order of their programming with Bandersnatch. Did you think this viewing format was just waiting around? That you could just put on old Cheers reruns and select an ending where Sam and Diane don't fight and do live happily ever after? No! This is technology that needed to be developed exclusively for Black Mirror. And now that it's available, there's no telling what else Netflix has up its sleeves. Perhaps the next surprise in Black Mirror would be that we've already seen the next episode. It's just been hidden and showed to us shot by shot, sequentially within all the trailers we watch on our Netflix homepage. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that Black Mirror changed the way we viewed shows on Netflix. But what about this final fact? Perhaps it'll change the way you view yourself. Just pause and compose yourself before we reveal that, yes, this whole entire time, there really is a Bandersnatch within our own universe. A company by the name of Imagine Software has developed a game that was called Bandersnatch. However, Imagine couldn't stand the high pressure of creating a revolutionary game in the way they had initially planned. In July of 1984, the company fell apart, and the game was scrapped. And guess what? It's July of 1984 that the story of Black Mirror's Bandersnatch begins. Is there anything you caught in Bandersnatch that we might have missed? Are there any choices still haunting your dreams? Do you feel like there's some kind of streaming service controlling your every action? Let us know in the comments section below. And click on the subscribe button to stay up to date on all the latest happenings here at ScreenRant. Follow us, and we'll make sure that when it comes to movies and TV, you always make the right choice. Catch you later.